All right, we begin this hour with fresh details. A federal judge now considering whether to grant former President Trump's request for a special master to review materials seized from his Mar-a-Lago home last month.
That's right. Despite much anticipation, the judge did not make a ruling after the hearing today and says a written order will come in due course. The Trump legal team has argued the FBI's search of his Florida estate was, quote, unprecedented, unnecessary, and legally unsupported. The Justice Department opposes the appointment of a special master. On Tuesday, the DOJ submitted a legal filing that included this photo of some of the documents federal agents recovered from Mar-a-Lago. CBS News Homeland Security and Justice reporter Nicole Sganga joins us now. Hi, Nicole. So you spent the day inside the courtroom during the entire proceedings. What stood out to you from today's hearing?
Tanya, Errol, good to be with you. Now, the federal judge from Florida, Judge Eileen Cannon, saying in this case that she's not ready to decide one way or another whether or not a special master will be appointed in the case here to review documents seized by the FBI in that August 8th search we've heard so much about that took place at Mar-a-Lago, just a couple miles from where I'm standing outside the federal courthouse now. What was interesting is the judge didn't seem to demur from her initial sort of assessment that a special master might be a good asset to this case, but she did repeatedly ask counsel for Mr. Trump what privileges they were seeking out, whether they were citing executive privilege, for instance, or attorney-client privilege here, hinting that perhaps attorney-client privilege has the stronger argument in this case. Now, in addition to that, the judge here seemed inclined to potentially enjoin or temporarily pause the Department of Justice's use of these documents if a special master were to be appointed in this case. But Tanya, she went on to say that perhaps there could be some sort of carve-out that would allow the Office of the Director of National Intelligence to simultaneously continue its assessment for potential national security risks. So to review here, the federal judge seeming as though perhaps she was leaning towards appointing a special master, not issuing a ruling from the bench in either, sort of direction, but also suggesting that perhaps that national security risk assessment could take place at the same time a special master, an outside expert, was reviewing these documents for privilege.
Really incredible, especially when you consider this is uncharted territory as far as what judges are being asked to do, what a special master would be required to do. Nicole, what are we learning about any potential privileged documents? We know Team Trump is saying there's executive privilege at play, but that may not be the case, perhaps. What are we hearing on that front?
Yeah, so attorneys for the federal government were joined by some new representation today from the FBI's filter team. And those attorneys for the U.S. government who specifically work with federal law enforcement and the filter team that was put in place following the search at Mar-a-Lago in order to sort of sort through documents that were taken from both the 45 office, the office of the former president, and the storage room. Those attorneys saying today in court that of all of the documents that were sorted through, they identified 520 pages. They called them 64 sets of materials that contained potentially privileged information. Specifically, we are talking about attorney-client privilege in this case, and that is information that had any sort of suggestion that it was a legal document, or, if it even listed a lawyer's name on the document. The attorneys for the government saying that those items were segregated. They were put in a separate locked space within, the D.C. facility, WFO. And so learning more about the quantity of potentially privileged pages, 520 and 64 sets of material there. Now, interestingly enough, they did ask the judge if they could share more information with the plaintiff, with Mr. Trump and his counsel regarding that 64 sets of materials. The judge said that she's going to hold off to weigh in on whether or not that should happen.
All right. Well,
yeah, all right. Nicole Sganga, we appreciate seeing you. We had to pull away because of someone behind you with a sign there, just for our viewers to be aware, but very clear reporting. Nicole, thank you very much.